haven't had, it's all stayed north, it's just north.
That's not
And you know who all that was in Charles? Is that one?
Yeah, back on that.
Yes.
You ready? Let's call this meeting to order. I need to approve the agenda, motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? I need a vote. Okay.
Aye.
Second, I need a motion to approve the minutes from last month. Someone want to make a motion? Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for the minutes.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Vote to approve it.
Aye.
No.
I need a motion to approve the bills for the water account. Second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I would, please. I seen on here where paid Daisy Dooley, she hasn't worked here for a while.
She came in to help me get caught up with the ledgers and stuff since we started with the whole new fiscal year last month. John gave me everything I needed to get started, and Daisy came in to help me get everything situated and start getting caught up. And we did that on a Saturday.
And I see we approved the minutes, but you took a check I told you I didn't get. You
Right,
took
yeah.
it- You took it off there.
Yes,
Okay.
the parentheses is showing minusing the.
And my only other question I have is on, and it's gonna sound silly, but it's my third meeting and I still don't know who the treasurer is here. Who is our treasurer? It's not in the minutes ever.
It's way back, cause I seen it the other day. But I don't know. I take the money to the bank.
There's not a board member here that's the treasurer because I've never seen it on the minutes.
No. There's never, we've never
Nobody
I
was
guess-
ever
needed one.
specified that we had a treasurer.
So like when there's bills that's on here, like, so I came down and this is not anything against Angel. This is nothing against you, but I came down Friday to see if they're posted and I asked for the agenda and it still wasn't here. I got part of the bills and thank you
The
for
agenda
that.
was available, the whole packet was not, so I gave you what I did have. The only thing I didn't have was the minutes.
So I came down this morning at 9:08 and it still wasn't ready. So I didn't get it, so I came early at 11:30 to go over it. My concern is, guys, if us as a board are not being good stewards of this board, this is a multi-million-dollar operation. Who is writing these down if we don't have a treasurer? Who's doing this for us? Who makes this report that still after the third meeting does not have a beginning balance? I have no idea how much the water
I do.
district has.
I write out the checks, they get signed, and I mail them out to pay the bills. And then when it comes time to do the board meeting, I have all the bills listed down for you guys of what was paid out of the checking accounts.
And no
And I'm
more.
just going off of what was left behind on how it was done before I took over, so,
So who do you think was the treasurer before you came here?
oh, I don't know. I mean,
We
Daisy was doing it
basically
before
have
me.
not had a treasurer, the board,
So as
Board
the,
doesn't handle any money.
huh?
I said the board doesn't handle any money.
No, the board does not handle any money.
Okay. I don't feel we're being very good stewards if we're not knowing what this money's involving, so.
I think there's a motion on the table, isn't there, and been seconded?
There was
Yes, now we're
discussion,
discussing.
we were discussing.
Did we,
I'm done with my discussion.
did we do a second on the water?
Yes.
Okay, we got this discussion. I need a vote on the bill, to pay the bills for the water account.
Yes.
Okay,
No, no.
the next one, to approve the bills for the Newark sewer. I need a motion to approve. Second,
Second.
any discussion? Vote, do you approve? Next, approve the bills for the Bering sewer. I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills, very sure.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes, please. On some paperwork, it looks like we have 150 meters for bearing. That's the bearing.
Maybe
length.
with the lake on it.
Yeah, and at $35, that'd be $52.50. Do you know, does anyone know how many meters doesn't have sewer? That wouldn't be getting a sewer charge?
I'd be a few in town, I don't know without Angel going back and looking.
My only reason for asking is I noticed, like certain months, they're $3,700 and then to 42. I didn't know what our policy, is that not non-pay?
there's people that haven't paid their bill. That's why the amount's different, it's based on who's paid and who hasn't.
So the next month, should be higher.
If more people pay their bill,
So if they don't pay their bill, do we have a policy for that?
But sewer's a little different. If they don't have water, they don't have sewer. So I don't know without seeing who's on, who's off.
I just noticed the bearing one fluctuates, so.
Fluctuates big, they all do.
they all fluctuate. It's just that bearings is more noticeable.
And some of the cabins out at the lake are shut off and won't be turned on here until about this time of year.
And we don't make them pay sewer year round?
Cause if the water's turned off, the sewers.
Do they have the $100 hookup fee every time?
Yes.
Thank you.
I need a vote on this bill for the Bering sewer.
Alright.
Last is approve the bills for the Herdman sewer. I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills for Herdman Sewer.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
I don't on the sewer, but I do wanna point out something, cause one of our employees got cheated, it looks like. I won't mention the name, but they got paid $18 an hour 2 weeks, and the other they got 19. I don't know, that could be a misprint, because the pay shows, the 1, 2, 3, fourth
Yes.
one down.
Yes, I know, I saw that too.
But if he got shorted, he should probably get.
That will be covered on the next check.
Any more discussion? I need to vote on pay the bills for Herdman sewer.
Aye.
Okay, Crystal Hoffman.
Good morning, guys. I'm Crystal Hoffman. I work for a company called Utilisource. We're umbrellaed under Sellenrick family of corporate companies. So obviously, if you're familiar with Sellenrick, you're familiar with us. I brought John Spadafora and Charlie Peel today because I kind of want them to explain the 811 rules before we dive into what we're offering. We are offering you guys to take over all your locates. But before we even discuss that, I think I want you guys to understand what the problem is. Back in January, I was working in damage prevention. I'm an on-site compliance officer. I was working in Edina. I had tickets that unfortunately, Gary, at the time, how many employees do you actually have out in the field to locate? Like, one. Okay. So, for example, in August, we are going to be putting Sellenrick's going to be putting 254,000 feet into Knox County Water District. So they're going to be calling in tickets. Gary, as one man, obviously, it is a busy time. We are calling in multiple tickets ahead of Mark Twain Fiber. So it came to my attention that obviously one person cannot locate miles and miles and miles and still maintain your infrastructure. It's not possible. So when I shifted positions, I came to Gary and said, hey, let's look at a locating contract. Let's look at taking over your locates to help you. But in the meantime, I called John Spadafora and I called Charlie Peel because they can pull the data and probably better explain what your guys' position is on your side of the locating. So I don't know, Charlie, do you wanna?
I'll handle that.
Okay.
So as she said, my name is Charlie Peel. I'm the Damage Prevention Manager for Missouri 811, and I appreciate you all entertaining this opportunity to speak to you about what's going on with your guys' locates. So we ran some data just to see what was happening, you know, just to see how you guys were managing your tickets and the workload with everything that's going on. And I'm not here to cast stones at anybody or to make anybody look bad at all, but I have to be honest with the facts that we have. It's not a good situation at all. A very bad situation, to be quite honest. We pulled the numbers for 2025 and 2026. In 2025, you guys had 1,596 tickets. Out of that 1,596, there was 58 tickets that were marked on time, by the start date and time that they were supposed to be marked. 221 tickets were late, and 1,317 tickets, there was never anything done to that, okay? Which made what we call your on-time performance indicator. Your on-time performance for 2025 alone was 3.6%. The industry standard, and for a big company that's getting double of what you guys are getting a day, is 90%. A small organization like this, the on-time standard should be 95 to 100%. 90 is doable, right? So there's a huge problem there, right? And we all understand that there's work going on. There's lines that have to be repaired. There's meters that have to be installed, and we understand that. But there's also the state statute, right? And I give everybody a book that has the state statutes in it. And I'm going to refer to page 34 in the book, 319.030. That gives you guys your requirements when it comes to what you have to do to locate, okay? And that's state statute. And then go to page 41, 319.045. That's the civil penalties that can be incurred by the Attorney General's office. It's a civil penalty for failing to comply with the state statute. Okay,
What page was that?
page 45, or 41, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Just for 2026, let me pull that up real quick. 2026, you guys are doing better. I know John came up in March and had a conversation with Mr. Gary, and we explained some of the things that were going on, and things are looking a lot better.
You understand on them others, it's because they're not cleared out.
Yeah.
And you understand too that we have 1,100 miles and no way of locating it.
I
So-
do understand.
So
that.
if I put a flag down, everybody dig within 2 foot of it,
Mhm.
and I have to be within 2 foot of it to be right. So sometimes I never put a flag down because.
I get that.
No, I understand where you're at. but
I
this is-
totally get that.
This is a bad deal all the way around,
It is.
and
It
it's
is.
just not my fault.
And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, okay? I'm just explaining the facts as to what we got. So your board is aware of the civil impunities that could come out of this if somebody was to file a complaint with the Attorney General's office. The state of Missouri is a complaint-driven state, so in order for any action to be taken, somebody has to file a complaint, okay? Just for 2026, there's 300 and as of it was the 11th of June is when I run these numbers. There's 374 tickets that have not been statused at all. So, with that being said, you're subject to a $10,000 penalty per ticket that hasn't been statused, okay?
Could I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So I have looked at those as well,
Mhm.
and Edina's is included in ours, being that it's in our district.
This is just Knox County Water District. That's the only numbers that I have run, is just strictly
Okay.
Knox County Water District.
But we get Edina's too.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm saying. So a lot of them we don't mess with because that's
the
their
only
deal.
thing that I'm pulling the stats is the tickets that you guys received underneath your all's members code. Yeah,
So I visited with Edina and Mike Wright. He says his phone, it comes up every day, and he was showing me how they keep track of it all. So it sounds like Edina's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, they
so
got-
these
they
are
got more
just,
help in small
just the tickets that you guys received, right? So if back to the Attorney General's deal, is if they just took it for face value and was to assess a penalty to you guys, the $10,000 max for every ticket that you guys have received and haven't done nothing with, it's $3.7 million.
How come we didn't take this in consideration when you put all these laws in place, that all these small deals out here, and we don't have no locate lines with them? This whole deal was put in law when nobody ever did ask
So
me.
back in 1987, when the law was put into place. And that now there's new provisions in the law
I don't
that
think
addresses the locate issue. That any, what is it,
I don't think we
319-033, with the law change that happened in August of this last year, now everything that gets put in the ground, all water line, has to be traceable now.
Right.
So that, they're trying to address that issue. So if they just charged you the one time per ticket, which it's $10,000 per day per ticket. If they just did the one ticket, and charge you, you're looking at $3.7 million. That could be assessed to this board of directors for Knox County Water, right? So there's a huge issue there that you guys could be civilly impugned on if somebody filed a complaint. And that's the big word, if, right? Yes, sir.
So my question is, for just 2026, and I did get I will show you on them, just 2026, that $3.7 million fine, who's responsible for that?
The board of directors.
So we, as a board, are responsible for $3.7 million worth of fines this year.
And that's not counting last year.
That's not counting last year, just this year. So, not an operator, not a secretary, the board of directors are responsible for $3.7 million worth of fines. So that's why I think we need to be better stewards of our money and know who our treasurer is. That would be a good start. But a question I have is,
Mark, we need to continue on.
our
We're-
discussion.
He's not even on the agenda.
I would like to throw out a little perspective here too, as somebody who calls in a lot of locates. This isn't meant as a defense for any mistakes or anything else that have happened. But as somebody who calls in a lot of locates on a lot of projects, I can tell you, and this, I don't see statistics, but I can tell you on every project we call on locates. The exception is we get everybody located. The vast majority of the time we don't get fiber optic companies locate, that's our normal thing, and we just have to adapt to it. So the fact that people aren't locating, and what a lot of times will happen is they'll call in and say, or they'll check in and say clear, and nobody's even been to the site, and it's not clear at all. So it might show up statistically on their side as showing somebody's come out and marked. And time after time again, we go out there, and fiber optics are the worst. They don't mark them. They'll mark one spot and not the rest of it. It's a normal occurrence anymore, and it's worse in Illinois than it is here. So this is not meant to be a defense of Knox County. This is just the reality. We have so many troubles with people marking things, and the worst is fiber optics. It's a normal occasion on every project we deal with. So what I'm sitting here hearing now is, this is no different than any other project I'm working on. So everybody needs to have that perspective that it's not only Knox County that's having trouble. This is normal everywhere.
It happens everywhere, and I can attest to that. Every day we're dealing with somebody throughout the whole state of Missouri that is not getting their locates done, right?
Or they're calling them in saying they're done, and nobody's been to the site.
At which they don't have to. They can put clear no conflict on it. They don't have to.
Except when they have utilities there that we dig up later on.
Exactly.
Which
now,
is normal.
There's been that's the good thing about the law change that's been done, right? You're correct. There's a lot of people that just go in there and put clear no conflict on it, right? And the provision in the law now that says they can do that if they need to, but if they hit it or anything like that, whoever the excavator is that hits it, it puts the onus back on that utility where they can't bill you for
Correct.
that.
This is a real point of sensitivity for me because it drives me crazy. When we're trying to design and complete a project and people don't show up and locate, we think we're all clear, we start going forward with the project, and all of a sudden, oh look, there's 3 fiber optic lines in there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not we hit them, it doesn't matter, it messes up the entire project. And so now we have to change directions, figure things out, because we don't want to put a water line between or underneath 3 fiber optic lines. Because the other thing about fiber optic lines is they're never straight. Like a sewer main is usually straight, water sometimes is straight. Fiber optic, it's going to be snaking back and forth and up and down, and it's a royal pain in the butt to work around if you're trying to do other utilities. Gas usually isn't too big of a problem. Usually we have a lot of success with gas companies locating because they don't want it to be hit either. But fiber optic are the worst. And it's a major problem, not just once in a while across state, on almost every project I work on, which is everywhere in Northeast Missouri. It's a normal problem and it drives me nuts. So this, I just want everybody to understand the perspective on this.
Yeah.
If Knox County's having problems, this is not a unique thing.
It's not at all. And that's why Crystal is here to kind of help. And this is where we come in. Anytime these smaller utilities like Knox County, right? Even our big utilities, as John can vouch for it, even with, we've had a huge utility down in the St. Louis area that had major problems, right? And we've been going in and helping them, addressing the situation and seeing what we can do to help them figure out to get their locates done the way they need to be done, right? and we've been very successful with that. Crystal's here to help you guys with that, and I'm gonna flip it. You guys know the stats now as to where the issue lies when it comes to locates. Crystal is gonna present the remedy for the problem, so I'll flip it back to Crystal.
I honestly just asked them to be here because I can give you the statutes, I can give you the laws, but I'm not part of their company. Utilissource as a whole, we are damage prevention service. That's all we provide, is damage prevention services. That is our ultimate goal. I know Gary's one man. I know too that I've been out in the field. I've actually located fiber out here. So I've worked in the field, I've done locating. I know you have unlocatable lines. I know this is going to be an issue. I designed your contract because this is what I'm doing now. I go from small municipalities to small water districts. You have 2 employees to do everything. If I call in a couple thousand feet stretches of locates, you're not gonna have, you're not, it's a lot. I've walked the fields, I've done mapping for Mark Twain fiber actually out here, so I've walked 4 miles down the side of the road, and it took me a half a day. So I know 2 men, it's gonna be hard. Gary, I think you're trying your best, and unfortunately you didn't have digital maps either, so now you've got digital maps. The proposal I sent out last Friday, kind of basically I pulled it based off your stats. We usually have 2 different types of ticket bases. We have an hourly rate and we have a per ticket rate, but the per ticket rate is 200 feet. On average, I didn't see a single ticket that was actually under 200 feet, except for maybe a couple in town. Most of your water lines are rural. $75 an hour is billable in quarter hours. So if I have to hook onto a line and walk it out, and let's just say it is a half a mile, you're looking at probably about 30 minutes to 45 minutes versus if I charged you 200 feet per every ticket. Every 200 feet would be another ticket. So we went with an hourly rate for you. As far as we were also talking about the clears is in there. Our company's policy is we cannot clear it without physical confirmation. So a person must drive to the ticket site, walk the ticket site, take pictures that there is nothing there, or that there is no indicator that there is anything there, and then they can clear it. So when you were talking about all clears and people not, that is one thing we do at our company, is we physically must verify. Now your unlocatable lines are gonna be mapped out based on the maps, because I know you're digitalizing your maps right now currently, correct? So it would be based on that. We even put a clause in there that basically talks about if we find a line that we are not sure, we do not feel is accurate, dropping maybe new marks, remapping it, and correcting your maps as we find problems. And having Gary on call basically, hey, this map isn't making sense. I see where the meter is, and I see where you're saying the water line is, but I see where the valve is, and this is not making sense. That's kind of what we do. Locators in general know that you have to go out in the field, and field verification is very important. The other side of this is I know you guys couldn't keep up. Like I said, in January, I was on site in Medina. We were working our way outside of town. And I knew you had just Gary. I think somebody had left too. Somebody had retired, your secretary. And I think she was kind of helping with the clears. You know, so really, this is just a solution to you. This is just to help you. We carry the liability, we carry the equipment, we carry everything. You're just billed at a $75 an hour rate, and that's based on the tickets. And we usually itemize the tickets and how long we were on each ticket. You would get all the verification, all that's uploaded into 811 we will upload it, and it's all documented. And I know you haven't had time to review the contract. So do you have any other questions that you might think you want answered while I'm here?
Have you done this for any other water, like around us, Lewistown or?
No, actually, you were the first ones I've approached here, but we do locate, we have locators on staff to locate Mark Twain fiber. So we actually have locators already in the area. We locate for Mark Twain fiber, and we map for Mark Twain fiber. We've done all their digital maps.
How do you think the ones around us did theirs?
Their maps, if they have digital maps, I think they probably did it the same way you did. You send the maps to a company in Chicago and they rough drafted them out.
We don't have that currently, do we?
No, but it's about done.
It's in the process right now.
Who's working on that, Gary?
A company out of Chicago, the ones we did the LSI with.
And the thing is those maps are great, but they're gonna have to be healed. We know they're gonna have to be healed, Gary. I know the maps are supposed to be accurate, but we both know that there's things that move and stuff that's not gonna be accurate. So the other side of this is we don't locate private side. Private side from the meter usually is considered private side. So we locate up 2 meters, but not past the meter. That falls back on them. We are looking at multiple ways of locating, so if we can't do it in a traditional means, which would be a tracer rod. You did say the mains though have tracer wire, correct?
Few of them, not very many.
Not very many. Plus we have some additional pothole data that our company has actually collected as we've been out in the field, so we do have some of that. The other thing is as people are doing excavation, we wanna collect that data as it comes in so we can heal your maps. Spending a couple days with Gary, possibly taking the digital maps and going out and actually looking at them and saying, are you sure this is right? And having those conversations, that's one of the things.
We potholed everything that we have on this new map.
Oh yeah, so those pothole data is very important. And like you said, sewer, water runs a straight line. Normally runs a pretty straight line. So that's the joys of water, is it does run a straight line. The problem is we need to know where that straight line goes. But that would be kind of healing your maps as we go.
And the nice thing about that is, with you guys going to these digital maps, I think that's a great thing. We can actually take them digital maps, because there's a requirement where you guys are supposed to update your maps annually, right? So with this new map that you guys are getting, the digital maps, we can send that into Missouri 811. Your maps are updated then, and we got a new deal that we're getting ready to release right now. It's called Enhanced Locator Response, right? To where when the locator, whoever's doing your locating, when somebody puts a dig polygon in where their area of excavation is, the locator's gonna see, like, if it's Utilisource or whoever, Gary, whatever, they will see that map laid on that ticket, and they will be able to a lot better assess the situation as to whether or not it's gonna be a clear no conflict without even having to go out and truck roll. They'll see that map and see it in there and see if that dig polygon is gonna affect, if your water line is laying obviously in the smack dab middle of where they're excavating, obviously you're gonna wanna go out there and paint where that line's at. But if it's not, it's off over here, but it's still within your all's boundary zone, your safe zone, then you can clear it, if that makes sense. And it's gonna help everybody in the long run. You guys going to these digital maps is absolutely a brilliant idea, and it's something that we need to get everybody involved with to do that. Yes, sir.
It's fair to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
Fair to say that, all the districts, Knox County, Scotland County, Clark County, all, when these lines were put in, nobody even thought about locates. I mean, nothing.
You mean tracer wire?
Yeah, tracer wire or anything to be able to.
Yeah, I
find
mean,
your-
they probably started to become a lot more common in the early 2000s.
And what this district was organized in the mid-70s.
Yeah, I mean, the vast majority of expansions happened from the 60s through the 90s and kind of tailed off in the 2000s.
So that, this by 2000, this system was pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, probably, what,
Pretty well
85–90% of it?
Well, and tracer wire, in all fairness, from the day you put it in, automatically starts to disintegrate.
Sure.
From day one, you're already losing tone on it, a tracer wire. Where you really need to pull your information is you've got your institutional knowledge. Gary's been here 37 years. So institutional knowledge is very important until it walks out the door and decides to retire and you no longer have it. And you're like, well, this one was based off of where the tree was 20 years ago that so-and-so cut down. Well, you're a new person, so not gonna know that tree was there. So getting the digital maps, and then we're looking at advanced techniques in locating PVC. I've demoed a couple products. They're not, logically, it's not a quick process.
I guess my point being, this board shouldn't be launching onto a guilt trip. I mean, you got what you got, and now you are affirmatively taking the steps, to remedy it and locate, and so I think it's a great.
The steps that you guys are taking are absolutely great. And again, it's not here to cast stones at nobody. We're just presenting the facts to make the picture so everybody understands
And
what's
we're
going
in a
on.
big, large boat with a lot of other people.
You're not the only ones, that's correct. Yes, sir.
This HBK Engineering, I just assumed was your company, it's not. Is this something new?
No, that's the LSI.
And
Lead
we've
service
been-
line inventory.
I'm sorry,
Lead service line inventory.
we've been doing that for quite some time. It was just a big bill, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So just to put it in perspective, like she said, in August, they're coming in and doing a project, right? You guys are gonna get hammered with one-call tickets. You're gonna get a bunch of them.
Yeah, we have about 254,000 feet of fiber that we're getting ready to
So-
put into your area, your service area.
Just trying to get ahead of it before it gets bad, right?
And we're not the only locating company.
Absolutely.
We are not. But I'm from a town of 756 people. That's it. Our town is very small. And Steve Sellenrick, the CEO, pulled me out of the field and said, Crystal, I want you to go help them. Because honestly, damage prevention is very important to me. My husband works in the field. My daughter works in the field. My daughter is a locator. My husband is an on-site damage compliance officer. This is something near and dear to my heart because I want you guys to succeed. I don't want to find out that your water's being hit every day. I want to accurately try to help you guys.
And Missouri 811, we're not here to endorse anybody. We will not endorse. There's several different locate companies out there. We do a lot of work with Utilisource, and they are a very reputable company. However, we're not endorsing them either way, so.
We just work together because damage prevention is our #1 goal. So I asked them to give you their information. I could have brought a book in and told you it, but the source is usually better, and I can't pull the data that they can, and I don't have access to it.
I would recommend, I've seen several other small municipalities, small water districts, if they don't wanna contract out all their locating, get an emergency contract. That way when a big fiber build or something spins up and you don't have the manpower to staff those locates, you have a resource to reach out to. At my previous employment, we got overwhelmed by a fiber project. We left on Friday, came home, came back on Monday, we were 6 weeks behind. It took us about 3 months to get a locate contractor in there to supplement that work. So I would implore you to go ahead and do that legwork ahead of time. Either you know that you're gonna hire more staff, or know that you have an emergency contact, or whatever. That way, when you get overwhelmed, you have a resource there.
Do we need to go any, I mean, we're in the process of this anyway right now, right?
Process of what?
Of the relocates, or of what they're talking about.
Well, actually, when we're gonna look at the contract or something here, David,
Yeah, I've looked through it, and Gary, I know you've looked through it, and I think, at this point, I've looked through the contract, I don't have any big issues. It looks like it's been well drawn, and meant to actually, address both parties' interests.
Thank you.
And honestly, that's a compliment.
I tried really hard.
Yeah, I see we get a lot of contracts in that, are all drafted in, one direction, and it takes a while to get, this one, it shouldn't be any problem getting, if the board is ready to move forward with doing the locate project, and this is the company they wanna go with, I don't foresee any problems with contract, other than negotiating the final price and just a few, little nits and ticks, here and there. That's what attorneys do.
Yeah, no, I knew that was gonna happen, we try to prepare for that ahead of
But
time.
no, if the board's ready to move forward, I've been through the contract, Gary's been through the contract, we've talked briefly, and we're wanting, we'll want Kyle to kind of look over the shoulder a little bit, cause he sees these a lot, and, but we would be able to spool up and go get a contract, I think, in place pretty quickly, if that's what the board wants to do.
And yeah, like I said, I knew you guys would wanna read through it, finalize it, any questions you have.
My only thing is, when did you say you brought this or gave this to
I
us?
sent this over last Friday. Usually we take about a month for negotiations, back and forth between the attorneys, if any. So I wanted it here, I wanted everybody to have a copy. I wanted you to obviously have time to review it. I wanted the information out. That way, if there was questions or we needed to discuss something, we could highlight it back and forth. He knows what I'm talking about, redlining, very common. That was it.
So do we need to make a motion on this, or?
Yeah, if David's good with it, I am.
If the board's ready to proceed, I think the board could go ahead and approve the project subject to negotiation of the final contract, and then we'd be in business to go forward, and we would work out the fine, tuning, and then present
What
the
day and-
yeah, and then present the final contract to the board, maybe the next meeting or something.
Yeah, July.
I had one question, and that is, when does the expiration of this contract that we're
It's 1 year.
negotiating? It's when?
It's a 1-year contract.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
And I saw in here somewhere, it talked a little bit about termination from either side.
Yes, and it does 30 days prior to the termination or 60 days prior to the termination of the contract, you must let us know that you want to involve or we want to move away from it as well.
But are we still responsible for a year?
Well, we would end on the year unless we came up beforehand and let's just say that there was some conflict of interest and we had to negotiate leaving the contract early, and in which case then you wouldn't pay us because we would be doing the work.
I don't know if they're really good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure what I'm saying, or you're not sure if they're.
I'm not sure exactly what, where we're talking about the conflict.
Go ahead.
So, the only thing that popped into my head, and it was just mentioned right here, are there any potential conflicts of interest? Cause you said you work for Stone Rink?
No, we're Utilisource, we're our own we're damage prevention services. All Utilisource does, we are umbrellaed and we're created from the Sullenrick family of companies, but no. So we do locating, mapping, GIS services, engineering. We have on-site compliance officers, but we are our own company, that's all we do. We are a third-party damage prevention service.
So, okay, I mean, if David's okay with it.
No, what
But
I was
I
saying
do
is
believe
I
that
do
some
know
are
that you
gentlemen.
have a fiber bill that's going to be going in, just because I was on the fiber build in Edina. So the gentleman who's running that project, I did reach out to him and ask him, I said, hey, when are you gonna be hitting Knox County? Because that's a lot of fiber that's gonna be going in, and Brightspeed's gonna be coming behind us, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and I'm not familiar with you guys, so this isn't anything.
It's okay, it's
But
fine.
the reason I brought it up is because it just was mentioned and it spurred a thought in my head. Didn't you say that Mr. Sellenrink pulled you aside personally?
So Steve Sellenrick pulled me out of the field and asked me to start working for Utilisource. I'm friends with him, so it was one of those things, like, we have a common alignment, if you would say. I sell houses, I used to sell houses for a living, I still sell houses for a living. Small municipalities and rural communities need our help. You're an engineer, right? Okay, so you understand the importance of knowing where the water is before you put water housing.
Yeah, I'm not second guessing your company.
No,
it's
that's
just-
what I'm saying though, this is what's important though, is the reason I got pulled out of the field is because I was already trying to help small municipalities like Knox County Water get money from DNR so that they could start mapping out their and I was doing this on the side, not as a job. This is just, I was high hill. Can I help you? Can I help you guys? There is a DNR grant right now. Let's apply for it and get your sewer and your water mapped out and updated. So he knew I was doing this on the side because we both live in the same small town of 746 people.
That's fine,
You're
I
okay.
just thought that there was statements of that.
Unless, you know, unless we thought there was gonna be some kind of conflict between the fiber locates and, you know, our water line, you know, locates.
But a lot of locate companies have multiple locate contracts. That's the joy of us being here. We already have Mark Twain, so if we're gonna, well, and Mark Twain's obviously not in all of your county, but we do have locators in the area already locating out Mark Twain. We carry multiple contracts right now.
Do you have any idea, I mean, cause we haven't got to look at this, what we're committing to? I'm not holding you to it, what kind of a number are we committing to here?
It fluctuates based on your average for last year. Let's just say 156 tickets, roughly, let's just say a half an hour to an hour for each ticket by $75 per hour. So I don't have my calculator on me. Because I didn't have all these numbers. I mean, if I ran it by your ticket count for the last 2 years, it was 4,700 tickets because I had to filter. I can't filter like they can.
So 156 tickets times 75. 11,700.
Yeah,
That's if it took a full hour.
that's if it took a full hour.
I didn't know, like, just a ballpark number.
But you're also gonna help create another map with GIS, right?
Well, we're gonna try to help you heal your maps, because you're already gonna have a GIS map, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as we find mistakes, then we can show you how to update them on your maps as well.
That they're actually gonna help remedy the non-locatables when they're finding them. They'll GIS them that position in, straight line them, and it's gonna help remedy your mapping problem.
All the receivers we use are RTK, which means that usually RTK bounces off of multiple towers. We can get an accuracy within 4 inches. But now that's on a locatable line, Gary, on a line that actually has a tracer wire.
Run that by me again?
I said that's on a locatable line. That's one that actually has a tracer wire still attached to it. But I mean, as people pothole in your pothole data, you know, we'll look at the maps and try to verify the pothole data with what you've got on your maps.
And the nice thing about with this fiber project going on, the utility that's putting that fiber in, whether it be Sellenrix or whoever, they're obligated to daylight every utility that they're crossing. Right, that's actually in the state statute that they're supposed to daylight them utilities.
How come they wouldn't do it the last time?
That's the $1 million question. We'd sure like to know that, but there's actually an
I had
obligation.
7 crews come in out of Indiana and nobody would do nothing.
You should call us. We would
I got
have
you,
that.
Gary.
When you see that going on, you call us and we'll take care of that for you. Okay, that's what we're here to help. We're not here to cast bad light or anything. We want your system to be just as safe as you guys do. So you call us and we will park a truck up here and help you guys out. That's not a problem
This is not
whatsoever.
one of those, I'm from the IRS and I'm
No.
here to help you.
No, not at all.
We're not from the government and we are here to help.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this?
Huh?
We really,
Yeah.
let's either vote on it or what do we gotta do? We got a long ways
We
to go.
need a motion.
Who's gonna own these digital maps?
We are.
Not them.
No, they own the maps.
Okay, now,
And my email, so if you
when,
have
when
questions
you're
outside of that, you feel free to
talking
call me.
about a motion, I think the motion should be in the form of approving the project, subject to negotiation of the final contract. With
So,
I'll make the motion.
Utilisource.
okay, we've got a motion and we got a second. Do we have a vote? Okay, we approved it.
Do you need us for anything else? Cause if you don't, we'll exit
Well,
the,
then give us some space.
give you some space.
We're actually gonna go into a closed session here next.
Well, then we're out of here.
We're done, we're done though with the Utilisaurus
Yes.
and the locating.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll leave you some of my cards too.
Yeah, I passed a few cards around the room, that's all the cards I brought with me, so let's take a picture with them. Feel free to use this as a resource for anything. If you have questions about other locate vendors, you know, we work with all.
That way y'all go. Okay? Thank you all for your time.
That way if you notice inconsistencies.
Appreciate you all.
Yeah, please, feel free to.
Now we need to go into closed session.
all kinds of stuff all over.
Well, it'd be good too, because I don't know city.
Good seeing you, Gary.
Hey, thanks,
If
sir.
there's any way I can help you, I can.
That way you can email me.
Thank you.
You work for Gary now?
Well, Crystal's nice to meet you.
Oh, it was nice to meet you too, thank you. Yeah, you highlight what you don't need, and let me, if you want me to email me, and I'll send you the digital copy, you can send the digital copy back.
This is in Word form.
Yeah, it's in
What
Word.
I got, and I'm a Microsoft Word.
Oh, good, yeah, that's fine, I would use Word, so,
If you can see, I've already made a couple notes. I really don't.
That's the best way out here, absolutely right.
I tried very hard to both parties, because we're taking on a liability, because you don't know where all your water's at. But at the same time, I wanna hold this with your water, so I try to balance things.
Well, I think they did a good job, but I think we'll have it.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Bye, Gary.
Okay. I need a motion to go into closed session.
Man, I really look up to you guys.
You look up there.
Yeah,
Bye,
Give me a call.
we had a motion. We didn't yet, did we?
I can make a motion to go into closed session.
Second?
Do you all need me to leave if you're in closed session, or is it okay for me to be here? It's up to you guys.
What's the first closed session?
USDA.
Okay, so, yeah, you guys speak one.
It's up to you guys if you want me to.
Do you want Kyle here for
It
the
doesn't matter, that'd be
USDA?
all right.
Yeah,
So it's with the USDA, okay. Did we have a second on it?
This one
Need
is
a
too
vote?
long.
I'm just waiting for your vote.
Okay, we're in closed session now.
Wait, not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say on the record that I'll be
Okay,
outside,
yeah.
so when you guys come back into open, please come and get me so I can continue my documenting. Okay, thank you.
We need to tell her.
I don't know, that's a closed session.
Crystal, we will tell you.
Angel.
Angel.
That she's the new.
I think
Sorry.
you've been calling me Crystal for months. It's
I
okay.
know. We did elect you clerk
Okay,
officially, and you did get a $2 raise.
perfect, thank you.
So, we'll hopefully,
This brings up,
yeah. Okay, Echo, we're done with this one, right?
yeah, but that brings up Kyle.
That goes next.
No, we
Line
got
shows
Echo
co-police.
next.
Number 10
I'll
is
do
Echo.
whatever you guys want.
Okay.
I don't mind either, but
I lost my. Oh. Okay. So prior to last month's meeting, I submitted a sunshine request asking for documentation on the land transfer that we discussed last month during your last board meeting. In that exchange, I received a bill for, I did send a very extensive sunshine request. And and received a fee of $408. And what I'm looking for is documentation surrounding the land purchase, where this board purchased land from your paid manager in 2018. And so when I got that bill, $408, I walked the Sunshine, I narrowed it down considerably and asked for the bill to be lowered. And then the next bill I got was only $8 savings. It was $400. We have never had a Sunshine Request bill that high. We have had Sunshine Request bills, albeit not very many, if any, from any public entities here in Knox County. So what I would like to do is ask for this board to waive the fee, which was also requested in the original request. I'm asking you to reconsider that, and then either waive or lower the fee, and hopefully take a vote on that. And basically, and the reason I'm asking for this is to help further the public's understanding about how the district conducts its business, and as information collected will be disseminated to the public through the Edina Sentinel newspaper. So
is there a discussion on this?
Is that what is normal for this process?
Whatever the time they have to spend, how much time they spend, how much time did they spend?
I would say Angel spent a lot of time doing this, because you asked for a pretty big
Yes, you
request.
did.
Which what was it, Angel? You looked it up. It's
So when I got the original request, I gave a quote of like $408 based on like a total of the 3-day, time frame of getting all those original documents together. Cause I didn't think it would take more than that. When I started getting everything together, I was able to gather a small portion of what you originally asked for, and then you had asked to reduce the the amount of documents you wanted. When I got that new list, I had actually already gotten all those documents. The second list that you wanted, I'd already managed to find those documents for you. The issue is it did take me 3 days just to find that little bit. And when I say 3 days, I'm not talking like 3 days within like 2 weeks time. I mean, I spent 3 days from the time I walked in the door until I clocked out each day looking for those documents. So it actually took 3 days time, which is what I originally quoted you for. It was just 3 days worth of time. And I think I took some off. I ended up taking like the $8 off or whatever.
You give her a break?
I gave her an $8 break. But
Didn't
yeah.
she ask for a time frame and then she went further than that?
No.
I thought she asked for 2 or 3 years and then she went to.
Oh, no, she asked for a long list, and like she said, originally in the Sunshine Request. But the documents she was requesting did go back several years to 2012. She didn't give a time frame in the request specifically. It's just that that's when those documents go back to. So yeah, I gave the time frame of, it taking me about 3 days to find everything, and it ended up gonna be longer than that. So.
also in the original request, I make it a point to always ask if there's going to be a fee, to let me know what that will be before the work is completed. That was not followed. The work was completed before we came back to the table.
Yeah.
To do any, to to talk about all of that. And then since I've also asked for an itemized invoice with those fees laid out for exactly where exactly all that money is coming from, what it's for.
So, any of you,
One more thing I'd also like to say is it's my understanding that there's less than 20 pages of what's been filled of the sunshine request so far.
I was guessing, cause when you came in on Friday, you asked how many pages I have or whatever, and I said, I'm guessing about 20, maybe less. I actually just found a packet of the information that I'd gathered for you, I just didn't add up the pages yet. I found them this morning.
If I remembered that request too, you wanted her to scan it so she could send it to you digitally.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes quite a bit of time.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, that's,
So you may have told her too cheap.
I don't know.
Scanning shouldn't be any different than copying.
Well, I have a little bitty scanner, and yeah, I don't have a nice fancy scanner like most offices. Mine's a little bitty.
I mean, if you have a pile of documents, I could scan them myself in a fairly short amount of time, if that helps.
So what is the fee?
$408.
Yeah. For my 3 days worth of time to gather the
And
documents
I'd
that I
say
do currently have.
she more than put that much time in.
And what I'm after is one of the main things I'm after is to find out exactly how much money this board paid for that piece of land.
$35,000. I shouldn't have told you until you paid $400. Because that was my sole intent.
Was to make me pay $400?
Well, no, you've been after me now for 3 months, and I just thought that we'll wait until the sunshine deal's through.
So you said paid $35,000 for
11 acres, and we paid $6,500 for the neighbors. And mine figured up $3,000, and I don't know why you're chasing after me. I'd be after her.
Do we need donations or whatever I can do to help, whatever to resolve this problem?
that isn't the issue.
She owes it.
Agent,
Do you
this-
pay your help
can
for
I
nothing?
can I say something?
You pay
No?
your
Okay.
work for nothing? Okay.
We'll give you a shot in just a minute, all
Why
right?
did she
Well,
get 3
I'm
days?
just going to cite the law. I mean,
Paid for it.
it's simple that y'all can charge. The way it reads is you can charge for the full time it took her to do it. Y'all have the discretion to do it or not do it. That's what y'all need to decide on.
Sounds like we already had.
It was brought up last meeting, but I can't remember her name, the lady from government.
Missouri Water.
Yeah.
Valerie Main.
Yeah. She said salary at the lowest paid employee that worked on it, which would have been General, plus what the diamond paid whatever was for the copies. And in advance. That was 3 things I remember her saying.
Well, requesting that kind of information is kind of hard to say, yeah, we can do it in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 30 days, or whatever the case may be, but that's something that this, expense thing needs to be determined the day that you ask for it, and not 2 months later. I think there's maybe some misunderstanding here. And I think in the future, it needs to be sorted out right then.
Well, it was.
Well,
That's what the sunshine law says.
well,
And that's just what you did, wasn't it, Angel? I don't think there's any miscommunications, Gary.
Well, I did have one mistake that I made, cause like I said last month, I didn't know the full sunshine law, I'm just learning it. And that was when she sent the request, the way I interpreted the law was that I had 3 days to
Get it to her.
fulfill it. And instead it was actually 3 days to respond. And so I did respond, gave her the information she needed, how much time it would probably take me to gather it with an estimated quote of how much it was gonna cost. And I sent that, and then I started gathering the information. And
Yeah, let's see if anybody votes, pay it or not, we'll move on. Or charge you or not, we'll move on.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Do you wanna make a motion one way or the other? And let's vote on it, and
I'll make a motion that she pays the bill. That Echo pays the bill. She wants that information.
do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Each one vote,
We're in open session, so it doesn't have to be roll call.
okay, so you all vote that we,
That's what it is.
okay,
And then
so
that's 2 votes.
Yeah, you'd have to.
we had 3, didn't we? Or just
Terry
2?
vote?
You
No,
vote no?
I'm voting, no.
I'm voting no.
Okay, so you got
Shirley?
tie.
I will vote yes. Okay, now we're down to Kyle.
Okay, just 2 quick updates. First off, on the design project for the new water tower, transmission main, and booster pump station. We're very close to being done. I have some draft plans in the car. And I didn't bring them in because I knew there's a packed house. I didn't know what I was gonna do with them. But I can go over those with Gary later if he wants. But we should be finishing up with the design within the next 2 weeks and ready to submit it to DNR for review and approval. And once they're good with it, then we can put it out for bids. So we'll just take this one step at a time, but we're very close to being finished with those plans for that project. We are working on the study for additional water supplies.
Hello?
Okay, we're working on that. I have a meeting set up with the city of Kirksville that was organized by Adair County Water District. That looks to be a very viable source, but Adair County wants to make sure that Kirksville's on board with them supplying additional water because it may change the contract requirements between Kirksville and Adair County. So we're meeting with them tomorrow at 10 a.m. And the reason I'm gonna be there is basically to help answer any questions that Kirksville might have from a technical standpoint. But we're taking that step in order to see if that, how viable of a solution is that. So just to kind of recap on that, we're looking at just in order from east to west, Clark County, Cannon Water District additional supply, which Clark County did a study about a year and a half or 2 years ago. So we do have some preliminary numbers on that. So that was, we kind of know where that is. City of Memphis, and then also Adair County. So those are viable options, and we're just trying to go through and see what each one has to offer and what the costs are gonna be. So kind of an update on where we are with that. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
What is the cost for Clark County?
So, I have not updated the cost as part of this study yet, but when we looked at it, a couple of years ago, it was about $12 million. So, so that's, assuming we're gonna update that cost a little bit, probably go higher, but it's gonna be in that ballpark.
And as far as grants and stuff,
Yeah, right now, there's grants and loans, combinations available, that DNR offers, for regionalization. And this would probably, meet those requirements, but we don't know until we have a final study and submit an application. And that would come by next March 1st. USDA is also a potential, but they don't have lots of grant money right now. We can always check though, because we like any grant money that can be offered. And then CDBG is another potential source.
I wanted to share, I don't know if you've heard yet, but Dan reached out about the grant, the money he got.
Well, he hasn't gotten it yet.
Well, it sounds really promising.
I've heard a lot of promising.
Okay.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Well, I'm happy that he's trying.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that would be a good thing if the money can be secured for sure.
It'll be for water purification or treatment plant on the south end, is that correct?
Yeah, so that project is already moving forward. We don't have full funding commitments yet, but we have some preliminary information on potential funding. But that project is moving forward. We're having a regionalization meeting on January 25th. So unless some hiccups come in with the funding, all that, it's already moving forward. But that does not get water here.
Right, but that $1 million extra might help.
Well,
If we get it, yeah.
You said January 25th.
I'm sorry, June 25th. Thank you, David. I apologize. Yep.
Back to
So-
ours.
Yeah, so that's kind of a summary of where we're at with those two things, which are the two main things we're working on right now. So, are there any questions on any of that stuff?
Say you know more tomorrow.
Yeah, with regards to Adair County, yep, we'll see how that meeting goes. And just for reference, Adair County is very close by. We don't have numbers from Adair County yet on what it would take to get them the water that we're asking for, which is at minimum 75 to 100,000 gallons a day is the minimum we're looking for from them. We don't have any numbers from them, so I can't even give you ballparks right now. They feel like that they have a lot of capacity with just some minor improvements. And like I mentioned before, it would be fairly strategic for you all because the new water tower is going up very close to Adair County, and we should be able to make that work pretty well. They're both surface water sources, so they should blend pretty well. We always want to look into that, but that's a good thing. They both use chloramines. Yep.
When we was talking the other day, I would like to see this water tower out north here.
Hey,
take it down.
yeah, Clinton was telling me about that. Yep. I wish we had a use for that, but
Oh, I know. Somebody ought to buy that though, to use it for a ditch too.
yeah, yep. People do that.
Huh?
Be awful wide.
That's big.
Well, for a big ditch, though.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
For the interstate.
yeah, so Adair County has a lot of promise. Memphis in the past has told me that they could offer 75 to 100,000, but we gotta go get it. Preliminary estimates before, and again, we're gonna redo all that as part of this project, but we're about $6 million to get water, to get transmission mains up there. And then Clark County, like I said, we've looked at that before. Clark County has very reasonable costs of water, so they have that going for them, but the cost to get it here, if we couldn't get the grant money, would be about 12 million, maybe more. So,
And they're only talking how many gallons?
well, that would be for as much as you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be for a minimum of 100,000 gallons a day. Clarence Canyon Wholesale Water Commission, the report that they did a few years ago, it was kind of a generalized report. It was about 6 million.
But I also see that Shelbina is coming on.
Are they?
Yes, or that was in the minutes the other day.
So that might be an opportunity to sneak in there, because that would help us out.
Keep it up a little, because they'll get a lot farther closer to us.
Yes, yeah, I didn't know that. So they just voted on that for sure?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. So that might be a possibility too, that might reduce the cost by quite a bit. So anyway, we're looking into all those things, but the main thing is that we have the meeting tomorrow with Kirksville to see if they would be willing to commit to the extra water that Adair County would need. So,
Did they know how far, Kyle, we had to go up there to hit? Because we're only about a mile away from the Adair County line.
yeah, so I have not seen their maps yet. I talked with their engineer the other day, and he's gonna get me information maybe tomorrow. And, he did say that they have 6-inch line fairly close and some storage tanks fairly close, but he wasn't sure exactly what was needed yet, cause he hadn't taken a good look at it. But he was pretty confident it could be,
That's promising.
it was promising, yeah, so.
What do they need the extra volume for, Kyle? I'm just curious, since I'm here.
Knox County?
Yeah.
So, Knox County is like a lot of the other rural water districts. In the last 5 years or so, they've seen considerable growth mostly in agricultural businesses. And that's spraying companies have popped up all over. A lot of cattle waterers, a lot of hog confinements, chicken barns, all that type of thing. And some of those places will use 5 to 30,000 gallons a day, and it's just overwhelming these systems. And they're in the same boat as Scotland County, Schuyler County. Marion County is not quite so bad, but they're going in that direction. Clark County is starting to feel the pain of it as well. It's a very common problem we're seeing in a lot of these rural communities. These agricultural businesses are just exploding in water usage.
You mentioned Scotland County as a possible source of water there.
Not Scotland directly, Memphis.
Okay.
Memphis.
City of
Memphis,
And they like to use potable water instead of.
So I've been to several meetings lately trying to pass bond issues, going back before the April election. And I had several different farming entities, whether they were cattle or chicken or whatever, that said that they've actually done studies and their production. What one guy told me, he said, it doesn't cost me a dime to buy rural water. He said it pays me because of increased production, increased health and whatnot. Now, I don't know how debatable that is, but I've had multiple people tell me that there's a chicken barn that's, I don't work for them, but that's in Monroe #2 that did a comprehensive study on their water supplies, and they get so many more eggs, per month per chicken on rural water. And so they've done the math, and it pays for itself.
Sure.
So, I've had quite a few different people tell me these different studies and whatnot, but also convenience too, because I know at one of the Scotland County meetings I was at, there was, let's see, what operation, I think it was a hog confinement. And, if they don't have rural water and they pull from the ponds, they have to have their own treatment facility and everything else. Well, that costs money, but it's also a source of major headaches. And so in order to eliminate those headaches, they just hook up the rural water.
Yeah, as long as rural water's got the supply.
Yes.
Because now they transfer the headache.
There's the rub.
There's the rub, and like Scotland County and Schuyler County both have, I don't wanna say moratoriums, cause it's not 100%, but it's a case-by-case basis to allow anybody to hook on that's agricultural.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Scotland is basically.
It's pretty much moratorium.
Was blanket at
Yeah.
starting date certain going forward.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I mean, there might be rare exceptions, but it's pretty much more. But anyway, everybody's facing these same problems, and Knox County is experiencing those same problems as well.
Yeah.
So that's all I have, unless there's any other questions or anything.
So we just stepped out for a
How many
minute.
people's on that 6-inch water line up there?
I don't know. That's stuff I need to work with their engineer on, and he's working on getting me that information.
Okay. It's not down to an H by the time it gets.
Well, I wondered. Sounds good right now, but.
Yeah, I don't have enough information on that to really speak intelligently. That's part of what the meeting is tomorrow, and we'll go from there and see what kind of data they can get me. So, I mean, I have had conversations with their board and with their operator, and they're all very favorable to it. It's just a matter of working out the details, so.
Is Adair doing anything with Schuyler?
Well, Adair right now buys water from Schuyler, but we're also a small amount. But we're also looking at switching that around, and Adair may be selling water to Schuyler also. So
I'm shocked that Schuyler's selling any water.
their system has some unique nuances. They're out of water in part of it, and the other part they have some extra capacity.
Yeah,
It's a bit unique.
their system was kind of
Yeah, it's like two different systems with a third system kind of in the middle that kind of overlaps. It's
Yeah, it was
strange.
put together piecemeal, so.
You know,
I got a question for Shirley. Did we need to vote to see if Mark could get 3 appraisers lined up for us? Did we vote on that?
I thought we, in the minute,
I thought,
in
I
closed
thought the
minutes, we
board
did.
authorized, you
Okay,
know,
okay, I didn't catch that.
do you,
Exactly.
Mark, do you want the board to authorize you to?
Yeah, I'd be honored
I
to
mean,
do
but
it.
you're not to engage them, but the thing was you were going to, you know, the appraisers.
Names to present to the.
Bring them
Yeah.
into the next meeting maybe and present them to the board, and so I'm not sure there really any.
Be happy to do that.
I didn't know whether it needed to be in that. That's what it was.
But certainly,
Question.
I think it certainly could be in the minutes that Mark has volunteered to, line up 2 or 3 possibilities as far as our.
Yeah, I do have that down.
Okay, Kyle, are you through with yours?
that's up to, unless there's any questions. Yep.
Next.
Next is the public comment period.
I had a deal from a water customer he asked me to read, and one other thing, but I think that's cool that we have that on there now, the public comment period. It's a letter from Keith Goodhouse. He wrote and asked me to read. I appreciate your willingness, along with your fellow board members, to step forward on behalf of your communities. It would be all too easy to sit at home and present your opinions and solutions on social media, but you have all chosen to actually engage in leading in a critical service to Knox County, and I commend you all for that. You have my sincere thanks. However, I have some significant concerns. I watched a video recording of the meeting on May 18th and was greatly discouraged by the conduct of the meeting. This is not an act against specific individuals, but against the overall tenor and execution of the meeting itself. From an outsider perspective, but as a paying customer and as someone with experience in meetings of this type, I'd like confidence in fact that the same 5-person group managing a multi-million-dollar business engages in thoughtfulness and honest discussion focused on the proper stewardship of its customers' assets. Instead, I saw general failure to follow many established procedures of a public meeting. The president did not control the agenda. Votes were not accurately recorded. They could not have been because many times individuals simply did not respond visually, verbally, or otherwise. On at least one occasion, your vote was not requested and could not have been recorded. I would like your position accurately reflected in the minutes. As debated in this meeting, the minutes do not accurately reflect the decisions and votes of the board. No motion was made for an amendment of the previous meeting's minutes, even though they appeared to be disagreements. If so, what value are the minutes, or the overall actions of the board for that matter? These are public documents that should form a legal basis for decisions made by your board. They justify your actions. They publicize your decisions. They protect you from misconduct within the organization. They are to protect you as a group, as well as hold you accountable for your actions. They are not an accurate record if facts can be changed by a simple majority vote to the board. My hope is that you can convince the board to take advantage of options to improve the management of the Knox County Sewer and Water District board meetings and its overall mission. I hope to regain confidence in this critical service in Knox County, but that will only happen with substantial, tangible changes in the conduct of your board meetings. I hope you are successful, Keith Goodhouse. Thank you for letting me read that. And the other one was from Mike Wright. I thought it was very nice of him to do. It says, "To whom it may concern, my reason for writing to you today is to express my interest in serving as a temporary backup operator for Knox County Public Water Supply District Number 1 at a rate of $30 per hour. I currently hold Missouri Department of Natural Resources DNR certifications in wastewater level A and water distribution level 3. As a result of Knox County, I have a strong interest in supporting the district and helping maintain safe, reliable water services. Water quality is a concern that I take seriously. While I do have a full-time job, I am willing to assist the district on temporary as-needed basis to help ensure continued operations and compliance. Please feel free to contact me if you need any additional information or would like to discuss this further. Mike Wright. I thought that's a nice community person with the licenses to do that. Thank you.
I'd like to know why he wrote this.
At the last meeting, Gary said something about $1,000 a month.
That's what he wanted, but I talked to him this morning after you was down the scene, and he said.
He called me, actually.
Well, he told me he's down the scene.
I could show you on my phone.
But he said that he'd do it for nothing, but we already got Kyle's man hired. I don't know how we could solicit another guy, and we don't need two of them.
I didn't know if he had his wastewater license on there. It didn't show that.
Well, we're hoping that we don't have to have one.
Well, we still have a lagoon system.
Yeah.
And then Julie Green.
On behalf of the city of Hurdlin.
Go ahead.
The city of Hurdlin is concerned. We transferred our sewer system to the water department for nothing. And we transferred all of our assets, which included monetary assets. And now our sewer is being sold for a substantial amount. And this was not put to public vote either by the council at the time or now at the time. So we are hearing a kickback from citizens regarding the sewer.
One thing, I do know an angel can go in there and see, but what they valued Hurdlin at was just exactly what we paid.
Okay, so what you paid Hurdlin is what they valued at.
Yes.
Okay.
What did you
But
pay
what you're
Hurdlin?
selling it for,
No.
the proposed,
That's what it's valued at. We're selling it for just what we give.
just what you give.
Yes. What was it, Angel? Was it 70,000?
I think maybe somewhere around in there. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, we was just over
But
this the other
might be
day.
something like that.
That you paid the city of Hurdlin $70,000 for that
Yes.
sewer system.
Yes.
That's not
That's
correct.
inaccurate. The city of Hurdlin received 0 funds.
Well, it was.
We
so,
got the checks.
No, the check was to pay off.
Oh, USDA.
But-
It paid off the
Yeah,
USDA
so
loan.
there's-
But in
And
addition
that's
to
what we
that,
got
there was
the
a sewer bond, a sewer tax that was being paid to help pay off that.
And we transferred those funds
Right.
to the water department. City of Hurdlin did not receive a dime for our sewer system.
We paid off from the documents I looked at on Friday. We paid off what the city of Hurdlin owed on the sewer systems. And then as for the bond, I'm not sure. I haven't seen that paperwork yet.
There was a contract done at the time of
In 2011?
But
whatever it was.
City of Hurdlin does
June
not
of
have
2011 is when they talked about, and that predates, that's back, Jim Hamlin and all them. I don't know that.
Pre-current board.
We don't have a copy of that contract or that deal. I mean, I guess we can submit a FOIA request to the water department for that. I know we have an agreement that we did once the water department took control, which was years later.
Well,
When it finally was finalized.
We first operated for you there for
Right, for a few years, right.
and then we purchased it.
Well, it was actually voted to sell it to the water department in 2011. And then the water department didn't actually take it over, purchase it the agreement. I've got the minutes of the meetings right here.
I'm thinking the contract that I seen was 2012 or 13.
It was 2013.
Was it?
Yeah.
But June of 2011 is when the motion was made to sell the sewer system to the water district.
But that don't mean we took it over then.
You didn't take it over.
No, not at that time.
None at that time. I mean, you took it over, but you didn't take it over.
Right.
I mean, you took over.
The operation.
Operations was taken over before that.
Right.
Way before that. This was when this is when the sewer system became. It was voted on that that the water district would take over the sewer system outright. They would buy it. Was in 2011. I don't think the paperwork was finally completed till 2013. Something like that. So that's where we get our. There were 2 or 3 different boards had come and gone between the actual voting of the purpose and the actual contract. But as far as the city didn't get a dime, not a dime, and we actually turned over all the funds to the Bering wastewater system, not the Hurt. So when you first took it over, all that money went into the Bering sewer system, not not for operations of the Hurdland sewer system. I got the canceled checks.
No,
I mean,
I don't know. Like I said, I just barely glimpsed at any of the documents, and this was late Friday afternoon. So.
And then there was a sewer tax being collected and all. The whole deal is this: is you're negotiating to sell a sewer system that's going to raise our rates substantially, and we all know that. That's what's going to happen. It's happened you look at the company you're dealing with. That's what they've done everywhere, right?
But we're going to too, Tom.
Yeah, but we have to. If you guys do it, we have to have a public. You have to have a public meeting, and you have to have a vote. You have to have all of this.
No,
by state law, you do.
I think boards just got to okay it.
I think you better check with the Missouri Public Service Commission because
the public service is one that regulates this new company.
And they regulate this company, and they've said that if you raise rates of any kind by the state statute, you have to have a public hearing. If you want to sell the sewer system, you have to have a public meeting. Doesn't say you can't. It just says you have to have a public meeting.
And we did.
And
There has been.
and there was a board vote to sell it based on that public meeting. And you published that public meeting, what,
3 or
in the
4 weeks,
newspaper?
maybe. It was in there quite a while.
3 times. Not all Knox County residents or Hurdland residents receive the Edina Sentinel. I don't. I can't afford it. For once a week, I'm not going to subscribe to it, so I didn't see it. City of Hurdland didn't get it. My parents get the Edina paper, read the Edina paper. They do not remember reading about the sale of the sewer system. The sale of the sewer system was being negotiated back in 2024. We are now in 2026 when it's being approved to sell. And we, as citizens, were just informed in March or April of the sale.
No, there was a big city meeting in Hurdland at what was that, last year?
That is
Last year, and the discussion was that we're going to have to raise our bill, or we might have to look into selling the system. It never said there was any negotiations of selling the system.
And
what
the
it said
system
was we were
already
going to
being sold at that time.
Hurdland was going to have to pony up more money to pay for the DNR upgrades to the lagoon. Right, and nobody's disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. But
But it was not presented to Hurdland that our system was being sold.
Land, and it's really not our system anymore. I mean, obviously, the water district took it over, but it does affect the citizens of Hurdland. And in the interest of transparency, big meeting. We're gonna bring it up to par with DNR, right? Which Adair County had to do, go to sprinkler system, the whole 9 yards. Is that system even in place in Hurdland? There has not been anything to bring it up to DNR code in Hurdland at all. Yet it was supposed to have been done 2 years ago. The land was purchased. We got a big tractor for the irrigation system, but we had not done a single bit of work. And from a standpoint of the city, we feel like we were misled because, here we are 3 years later and still nothing has been done except for a real estate transaction that this board made money on, and that's it. No improvements to our sewer system, not at all. Our pumps go down all the time. Our lagoon is not even close to DNR guidelines, which means the new company takes over, they got to do it all. So what do you mean? What do you think that means? That means I'm going to have to pay $169 a month for a sewer system that should have already been upgraded, should have already been compliant. And this board's the ones that control that. I don't control the sewer system. Gary doesn't control it. This board makes those decisions and should know that they should be compliant. And if they're not, should have brought it compliant. Especially when you're talking about $1 million land deal, sewer system sale. I don't know. We transferred all our money. We transferred every bit of the money out of the accounts to the water district in good faith, knowing that they were going to bring our sewer system up to DNR specifications, and they didn't do it. This all started back in 2013. Here we are 10 years later, and we still got the same problem.
And our sewer account still has no money. Where is our money going?
And it's not, I get there's no money, there's no this, there's no that. But as a public board, and I serve on a lot of them, it is the board's responsibility to know what's going on. And you voted to go into negotiations to sell, you had your public hearing, that's all fine and dandy. You did it legal, and that's great. It still doesn't mean that what you're doing, what I get, Hurdland's only got probably 52 households hooked to service, but that's 52 people that you are causing to 250% increase in their sewer bill when it's all said and done. And half the people can't afford to pay the current sewer bill. So we're going to go through and cut all the sewer off? How's that going to work?
I'm game.
I'm going to pay the water bill, but I ain't going to pay a $150 sewer bill. So then what are you going to do? You're going to come suck my water off?
Can I throw something out there real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah.
A couple things I'd like to address. First of all, I can't, and I'm not going to try to speak to any of the transaction that happened way back when it happened, because I was working for the water district at that time, but I was not involved in the project, so I'm not going to say anything one way or another. But with regards to the improvements, I can tell you that the board did take action. They asked me to do a study. I worked with Gary, we did a study, and we put all of it on hold. We actually applied for DNR funding. We got DNR funding, but we put it all on hold because of exactly what you're talking about. The concern was if they move forward with it, the rates are going to have to go up drastically. I don't have any of it in my mind right now, so I can't tell you what it was, but it was drastic. It was double.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was up to 120. I think it was 120 or something like that.
Somewhere between 101 and
right.
120.
So the concern is exactly what you said. Nobody wants to pay a $120 water bill. So the water district was, this other company approached the water district about buying it, and this is not the only water district. They were approached a whole bunch of other communities all over, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, I don't know, a whole bunch of states. So this is not a small thing. And it looked like for the water district, from their perspective, that the opportunity was there to have somebody else handle it that has more resources than what they have.
And more people.
And more people to spread the costs around. So the idea wasn't that they wanted to raise your rates more by selling it. The idea was this might actually keep your rates lower, because if they have to keep maintaining it, even with grant money, the upgrades that are necessary, which the board commissioned me to look at several years ago now, and we applied for funding, are still going to be astronomical rate increases. So the idea was this might actually save you money, not cost you more.
But it won't. That's the problem. It won't.
How do you know that?
All 347 comments on the Public Service Commission's website regarding Confluence Rivers is negative because everybody's rates have increased from 150% to 200%.
Correct, and that's because in my experience, I don't know about them in particular, but what I would say from my experience is that most of these small systems, which is what we're talking about, they don't have any money, they skate by, and the board doesn't ever want to raise the rates enough to actually cover all the costs and everything else because of exactly what you're talking about. So they keep the rates low and then they have no money, and so then DNR comes up with these regulation changes. They have to improve it, and then the next step is, well, we've got to double our rates or triple our rates, and we don't want to do that. So just because people are complaining the rates were increased, and then they probably should have been increased beforehand and weren't. I mean, I've watched this trend, this not just here, a lot of places, the same thing transpire where these small systems can't afford it. We talked earlier, David and I have been through this before with Clark County Water District with Revere and Luray. Luray is one of them that Clark County Water District gave back to, and I'm just using that example because it's close, and Confluence Rivers bought Luray. So back 15 years ago, Clark County went to the citizens of Luray and said, same thing we're talking about here. We can move forward with this project, but we're gonna have to double the rates in order to pay for it. And they said, nope, we don't trust you guys, we'll take it back. So Luray voted to take it, this is after months of negotiations. Luray took it back. Luray did not have the capacity to manage it. So they ended up going basically defunct with sewer running out over, the lift stations failed, sewer was running out on the ground. Nobody had any money to do anything with it. So Confluence River came in and bought it and probably raised whatever rates there were, because I don't know if Luray was even charging rates. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about
So-
that Luray
So
sale.
this is one of the examples that I do have some familiarity with, is that when Confluence River came in, they bought it, they raised the rates subject to the Public Service Commission, and they did so as a real service to community, because if they didn't do it, nobody was gonna do it. So we don't want that situation to come here, and it's not my decision, I'm just kind of speaking here because I have some experience watching these things happen, is that the board has done things, they have taken action, but they were very hesitant to move forward with it because of the rate increase that was gonna be imposed on you guys if they proceeded. So this came up as a potential opportunity, and
So you did a proposal, okay, you're gonna have a rate increase, right? Don't you think that the logical thing would have been bringing it to the people that it affects, that if we keep this, this is what we're gonna have to charge, versus, oh, we're just gonna sell it, and the record of the company you're selling it to it's 225% rate increase across the board. Do you know why? Because they charge a $65 administration fee on top of everything else. That is a standard industry standard across the board with this company. If you do your research, it's not hard to find. They hide it in there and all that paperwork they put out there. So 65% of your bill is just administrative.
I wasn't part of it, but didn't I just hear you say that you three talked, that there was a meeting where you presented that?
I did, damn near home me.
Okay, no, I wasn't part of it, so I don't know, but I thought both of you just said that there was a meeting.
Now, the meeting was never with this specific company. What the meeting was if we do the upgrades to the sewer system to keep it operating, we'll have to raise the fees. And I think it was like 119 something or something like that, right? Is what the water department would have to charge. It was, and then if the people didn't want to pay that, then the water board would be forced to sell the sewer system. That's how the meeting went. Okay, and it was recorded. It's recorded.
I'd like to see it, because I don't even think we was talking about.
We talked about that because
I did go back and watch that video.
Go back and watch it,
The
because I don't think it
negotiations were already in place.
because the Bering people came over for it. It was, and Gary's right. They look. I'm not trying to jump on Gary. Gary brought the facts to the table, and he gets a raw deal. He brings the facts. It is what it is. And some people get mad because it's, well, Gary this, Gary that. It's not just Gary. The board makes the decisions. When it's all said and done, the board makes the decisions with whatever information that's given to the board, then the board votes.
I was thinking, when I was over there, I was there trying to get you guys to all write letters to DNR to try to keep the bill.
And we did everything we could. We put it out there. We tried to talk with DNR about getting the exemptions, so that the water, that we could prevent this from happening. That's not, nobody's saying that we did anything wrong there, or either side. We're just, there's some things with this whole transaction that, while they may be legal, they were shady. They were within what the commission says you can do. But from an ethical standpoint, you got 50 people that are about to not be able to afford sewer. And is the water company going to shut water off? If I pay my water bill but don't pay my sewer bill because it's two separate entities, is the water company going to come out and shut my water off?
I don't know. Nobody's ever approached us.
But that's a very...
It's a law. It is a law.
It is something you're going to have to think about.
It is.
Because if I don't pay my water bill and sewer bill, you come shut it off,
I agree.
right? Because it's together, it's all together. But if it's two separate bills, they got a sewer bill and it's $200, but my water bill's $30. I come pay my water bill, you gonna shut the sewer off? Because that's the only way you can stop sewer flow. That's all stuff that should be negotiated in and the people should know about before we agree to a sale. That's just me speaking. Y'all can do whatever you want to do, you're the board, but I'm just saying from the city standpoint, that's a legitimate concern with a lot of people in our town of 50.
And unfortunately, whether the district sells it or doesn't sell it, these improvements are gonna have to be made.
Yeah, they're gonna, yes, there's no doubt about that. The lagoon system will have to be upgraded.
Well, if you remember, the only meeting I was at with Confluence Rivers, they claimed that they could do the improvements a lot cheaper than you could, because they don't pay prevailing wage and all that.
Right,
kind
but
of
they
stuff.
wasn't going to irrigate either.
They weren't going to irrigate. No, they were going to treat it, and they had some system that was going to be very cost effective, and they could implement it very cost effectively because they didn't have to go through all these processes and everything else. That was their claim.
It was their plan.
Yeah, I have no idea if that's accurate or not, but that's what they said. So.
Which it would still have to comply with DNR regulations. So,
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
so anything you do is gonna have, and that's what I'm saying. That's why we're concerned, because we know, I mean, the facts are the facts. Whether the water district does it or whether this new company does it, that sewer system has to be brought up to be compliant with the DNR regulations.
It does.
That's why the water district acquired land to do that very thing that's never been done.
And that's what
Right.
really drives the problem, you know, is you get just more and more of the regulations and everything piled on top, and it gets awfully expensive to run these little sewer systems.
Well, it does, but
Whoever
we
they
haven't,
are,
we, from what I understand, we did a study and then we tabled everything and didn't do anything for 10 years. And now we're in a situation where you're forced to sell or upgrade and do it. Either way, it's a no-win situation because we did a study and then we tabled everything. And that's not Gary's fault. That's not the engineer's fault. That's a board issue of waiting and see. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Now we're to wait and see whether it's you guys raising our sewer rates or whether it's them raising our sewer rates. We've got an issue. And we're still not compliant. That's the bottom line. That is the exact bottom line.
One thing we know for sure, Tom, it's probably going to get raised.
And that's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. But 250% across the board, you're going to have a lot of people not paying a sewer bill. And if you're going to sell the sewer bill, you're going to shut the water off. The person don't pay their sewer bill.
Yeah. No,
because that is a valid point there. Because how are you going to stop the sewer flow? You either got to shut the water off, or you got to come out and dig it up and disconnect it.
I think they passed that. I think it's some kind of law that we have to, the water companies have to shut it off for the sewer companies so they collect their money. I've read that somewhere.
What are the current rates right now?
35, but we left them there thinking that these guys gotta leave the price at 35 if they take it over. That's why we done it.
Yeah, that's a very inexpensive sewer bill.
It is.
Right, and which they are. Don't get me wrong, this company, they do it by the book, right? Their sewer rate, the sewer rate is $35. Then I'll have a $65 administration fee on top of that, and then there's a $100 service fee. So your sewer rate's fine.
I called them there one day when everybody was worried about all the fees they had on that piece of paper they sent out.
Yeah,
and they said all that was for was late fees and
you go in and look at the breakdowns.
That's what they told me.
You go in and look at the breakdowns that they got. I think it's on like one of them 118-page fee breakdown deals, and it's got it in there very specific that they got. I think a $90 or $65. I think one was a $65 service fee in this one town. The other town, it was like a $95 service fee. It's all depending on the size of the town and the upgrades they do to their systems. And it's a service fee. They don't raise the sewer rates. They charge you a service fee. So you can sugarcoat it all you want. I'm paying a $35 sewer rate, a $65 server. I'm still paying a $140 sewer bill. Because you got to pay the service fee. You can't just pay the rate. That's what you get when you're dealing with this big company. And it doesn't matter whether it's this one or it's any of them. I'm sure it's all the same.
Does the city of Herman want to take it back over?
Well, we can discuss it.
Well, you better hurry.
We sure can discuss it.
It's got to be up to these guys, not me. But
you know, it wouldn't be no different than novelty.
No, I offered everybody before when we got in this deal of purchasing them. I offered all the mayors to take them back over if they wanted them,
and personally, I think that what should have happened was all the mayors should have been invited with the board to sit down and really discuss how it was going to impact our cities with the negotiations going on.
Yeah, well,
and that didn't happen, and that's fine. I mean, that's part of us to blame. We know when the board meetings are. We should have came. I'm not blaming the board. I'm not blaming Gary. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying the facts of the matter is this. You know, we sold a sewer system and didn't receive a dime. Not a dime. The money was used to pay off the USDA loans.
Yeah.
That's what it was used for. Then whatever excess was deposited into the Bering sewer services. Is what it was.
I'm going to guess the money was deposited into Bering sewer because we probably wrote the check out of the Bering sewer to pay it off.
I don't know. I just know that's what we wrote the check out to. Was the Bering wastewater service.
Ian McClanahan was the one overseeing that, and I'm going to guess we just deposited into Bering to write the check.
Yeah, and that's I get that. I'm just saying I know what we did from the city standpoint and how we did what we did in this transaction.
And I will tell you, and Angel can show you, man, we are selling this if we get it sold for the very same dollars that we paid you guys.
But you paid us $0.
Well, we paid off your note.
No, we paid off our note.
Well, how'd you pay off the note?
We had $30-something thousand that we transferred to you to pay off the note.
Gary, there's a contract that was done at the time of the.
I just looked at it the other day, David. Yeah.
And it was all the payments and everything was all right in the.
I can remember the tax deal you guys had coming in because Brent Carhoff called me one day, and I'm thinking he said he sent it to the city of Kirtland and wanted to know if we want to leave it in place.
These are balances. Right.
That's how much we transferred.
23.
23.
We transferred 23, 48, 70.
487.
487.
Well, I remember seeing a check for 23,000 something that we wrote. And
That's what we transferred.
And we wrote one for 50 something.
And you may have, I mean, the water district may have paid off whatever was left of, I mean, because
Right.
we had a sewer tax and all that had to be, since the city didn't know the sewer tax anymore, we couldn't collect the tax. So that had to be paid off somewhere. I'm not saying you didn't pay it, I'm just saying, from the standpoint, you're saying you bought the sewer system. Technically you did, but you didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't get a dime.
Cause I'm gonna say technically,
You know,
we paid for it, you know.
but we didn't get a dime.
Right. I
So, I
understand.
mean, that's the misconceptions that, you know, we got paid $60,000 for our sewer, and that's not the case.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
you
there
know,
was
you
some-
value, that's what the value of the sewer system was, $60,000. Great, that's what you this proposed sale is selling it at $60,000.
Yes.
And then we all know that the upgrades are gonna be astronomical anyway. To upgrade it, you know, I mean, we're still talking 6 digits.
Oh, imagine.
Well, back when this all transpired, because I was involved with it, and I mean, the whole transaction basically originated, we were conversing with USDA, and USDA strongly recommended that we come in and purchase this Hurdland sewer system.
And like I said, negotiations started long before I was ever involved with the city.
And so that,
I mean,
that's how the district even got involved with the Hurdland Sewer District, and then one thing, you know, led to another, and yeah, we did end up purchasing it, but, you know, I think the system was having problems collecting bills and just.
Yeah, and it was long before that. I mean, I think it was probably 3 or 4 years before the sewer was even sold that the water district took over managing the sewer funds. Right? I don't dispute that at all.
Yes.
Right? That's not the dispute. The deal is whatever decision you make, whether to sell it, not sell it, upgrade, whatever, your decision impacts, and I know we're not a large town like Edina that it's gonna impact, but it does impact 50 people that cannot pay an outrageous sewer bill. And quite frankly, if the water department's gonna shut the water off because they can't pay, it's not that they can't pay the sewer rate, it's they can't pay the service fees associated with it. And that's something that I would implore this board to think about if they, in their negotiations with this deal, and get a lock solid flat rate, you know, for some of these smaller towns, whether it's Bering, whether it's this. If it can be done, then it needs to be done. But if the water department just wants to wash their hands of it and say, well, we don't really care, so be it. But you're telling every customer that's on this sewer system that you don't give a shit. I'm sorry. You don't care about how they feel and how it impacts them.
Because then looking further down the road, we do want more people to move to Knox County. We are trying to clean up Hurdland so that people want to live in Hurdland. If people cannot afford the sewer bill, how are we going to draw new residents to the county or Hurdland? Then if Novelty can manage their own sewer, why is the water department not able to manage 3
Novelty's
sewers?
a tad bit different. They all had septic tanks coming out of the houses into a septic tank, and then it runs into the lagoon, and they pump the septic tanks, half of them each year. So they have a whole different.
Right, they have a whole different system, and I get that.
And it charges different, and it, DNR looks at it different.
But it's my understanding that with our flow rate going into a sewer, with the DNR regulations, we can either stair step, is it stair step 3 ponds?
Yes.
Right, or we can irrigate.
Yes.
Sludge and irrigate. Right,
that's just one way out of this. There's 100 different ways.
Right, but because of our flow rate, the town our size, we could get by with that if that's the way DNR approves it. We have to have a plan, and DNR has to approve whatever plan that is, which was a study that was done already, that nothing was done on. I know we got a tractor that we bought, that the water bought a tractor for irrigation, right?
Bought one to mow with.
One to mow with, but you don't have one big enough to run an irrigation pump.
Small
Nothing.
one.
But that's still, we haven't irrigated, we haven't pumped anything out, we haven't done anything in 13 years.
Or fixed a manhole that's
So
caving in.
to come to us and say, look, we can't afford to maintain a sewer system that you haven't maintained at all for 13 years. Right? I mean, technically, so it's a moot point when you start coming at us with, well, we can't maintain a sewer system. Well, you haven't maintained it at all.
Well,
You bought land to maintain it. You've only mowed it 6 or 7 times in the last 10 years, or maybe once a year, twice a year. But I mean, sometimes you can't mow it. I mean, it's just what it is. But we have not dredged it. We have not irrigated it. We haven't been compliant with Missouri regulations at all. And that's not the city's fault. And the water district, the manpower wise, won't allow it. There's no way. You don't have enough people working for you to maintain the sewer systems. We're aware of that.
We don't.
We're aware of that.
We can't even do the damn
Right?
locates.
And the people are not saying anything that this is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's a necessary evil that has to be done. But you better consider the backlash of hurting people. Because that's what you're doing. You're hurting people. You're saving yourself money, but you're hurting people. And if you don't think so, come on out to Hurdland and we'll introduce you to the 50 people that can't afford to pay the sewer bill. I'm just saying. Could they afford to pay $120? I don't know, but we haven't done anything with our sewer system at all. So the cost of maintaining it is really a moot point because we haven't maintained it. And it's an argument we can have all day long. I know that the city gave it up to the water department because they couldn't afford to maintain it. Right? Now the water department's going to give it up because they can't afford to maintain it. It's a vicious cycle, but when you negotiate, please take into consideration trying to negotiate some kind of deal where we don't have astronomical service fees on top of a flat rate sewer. I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, are we done with that?
I think so.
Mark, we got the same letter you did. But we also got some more letters here that I would like to have her read them. That come from the meeting last month. So,
And I got 3 different letters from 3 different customers who have requested to remain anonymous.
Oh, I know. You did. Okay.
So,
I do.
to whom it may concern, I am writing to express my concerns regarding the consideration of adding a current board member, Mark Hunolt, to a position that would allow access to the Water District bank account. After personally viewing a video from a board meeting on 5/18/26 involving the individual along with several concerning local interactions and encounters, I do not believe it is in the best interest of the Water District or community to grant this level of financial access or responsibility at this time. The position of handling or accessing district funds requires a high degree of public trust, sound judgment, professionalism, and confidence from the community. Based on what I have personally observed and experienced, I have concerns regarding whether this individual demonstrates the level of accountability and conduct necessary for such a role. My intent is not to create conflict, but rather to voice a sincere concern regarding the stewardship of public resources and maintaining the integrity and trust of the Water District. I encourage careful consideration of all factors before making any decisions involving financial oversight and access to district accounts. Thank you for your time and consideration of this matter. Respectfully submitted, a concerned Water District resident. The next letter, to whom it may concern, I'm writing to express serious concerns regarding the conduct of a current Water District Board member, Mark Hunel, based on my direct observations, community interactions, and experiences. I believe this individual's behavior raises substantial concerns about their ability to responsibly serve in a position of public trust and oversight. I have observed behavior that I believe demonstrates dishonesty, intimidation, and unethical conduct. Specifically, there have been incidents that have caused concerns regarding transparency, professionalism, and the manner in which interactions with members of the public and/or district stakeholders have been handled. In my opinion, behavior that appears threatening, retaliatory, or misleading undermines public confidence and damages the integrity expected of a board member entrusted with community responsibilities. Public officials and board members should be held to a high ethical standard. Individuals serving in these positions should demonstrate honesty, fairness, accountability, and respectful conduct toward constituents and fellow board members. When conduct appears inconsistent with those expectations, it is reasonable for community members to voice concerns and request accountability. For these reasons, I ask these concerns be taken seriously and reviewed appropriately. I believe careful consideration should be given to whether this individual's conduct aligns with the expectations and responsibilities of serving on the Water District Board and having influence over district matters. Thank you for your time and consideration regarding this matter. Okay. Oh, that one, because like she said, we got the same one from Keith. You just read that one. Okay. And then the final one, to whom it may concern, I am writing to formally express my concern regarding the conduct of a current Water District Board member, Mark Hunel, during public meetings dated 4/20/26 and 5/18/26 that were recorded and openly broadcast. During the meeting, Mark addressed and discussed private accusations on a public setting, despite the allegations appearing to be unsubstantiated and unrelated to the professional duties or the board. In my opinion, using an open public meeting platform to discuss person or unfounded matters raises concerns regarding professionalism, judgment, ethics, and the appropriate use of public position. Public meetings should be conducted in a professional, transparent, and orderly manner with adherence to established rules, bylaws, and applicable laws. All participants should be treated with respect, agenda items should remain the focus of discussion, and board members should refrain from person attacks, intimidation, or discussion of unsubstantiated allegations. The purpose of a public meeting is to conduct public business fairly, maintain public trust, and allow accountability through respectful and ethical communication. Addressing private allegations publicly, particularly when they are unverified, can create unnecessary harm, foster hostility, and undermine public trust and professionalism and integrity of the board. In both meetings, Mark Hunel did not reflect the level of professionalism, respect, and ethical behavior expected during a public meeting. Rather than maintaining focus on public business and factual discussion, actions and comments appeared inconsistent with the standards of transparency, civility, and orderly conduct that are essential to maintaining public trust. Additionally, the manner in which these matters were presented appeared inappropriate for a public governing body meeting and gave the impression that a public forum was being used to address personal grievances or accusations rather than district business. Based on observed conduct, interactions, and actions displayed in both public meetings and within the community, I do not believe Mark Hunel demonstrates the professionalism, integrity, sound judgment, and ethical behavior that should be representative of someone serving in public office. Mark Hunel's behavior repeatedly has fallen short of these expectations through unprofessional conduct, poor judgment, intimidation, and actions that undermine public confidence. It raises serious concerns regarding the ability to effectively serve in this role. For these reasons, I believe consideration should be given to remove Mark from office or other appropriate action in order to preserve the integrity and trust expected of the board. I respectfully request that this matter be reviewed carefully and that expectations regarding ethics, professionalism, and appropriate conduct during public meetings be reinforced to ensure the district maintains focused on serving the public interests. This letter is submitted anonymously due to concerns regarding potential intimidation and retaliation. Based on observed conduct and interactions involving Mark Hunolt, there is concern that openly identifying oneself while raising these matters could discourage honest communication or result in unnecessary conflict. The intent of remaining anonymous is not to lessen the validity of the concerns presented, but to ensure they may be expressed without fear of adverse repercussions. Thank you for your attention to this concern. Sincerely, a very concerned member of the community.
Am I up?
Huh?
Am I up? Next?
Yes. Old business, right?
No, new business.
New business.
I went to a board training like y'all asked me to go to, and there was 7 water boards there representing us, or representing different people, and I learned a lot. And Valerie Main put it on, and I think it would be a great thing for us to do as training. There's my certificate I got for doing it, and we had something we learned a lot about was Robert's Rule, and there's a lot to it, but a simple thing is that Robert's Rule was set for strong guidelines to assemble for an assembly to mold its own needs. But I know it'll happen in time, but I feel like Robert's Rule is something we need to work on. And like Tom had said, and others, 811, the responsibility is on us as a board. It's our fiduciary duty. And it won't be an operator that's held accountable, it'll be us as a board. And I feel we need to be better stewards of that. So I did go to my training. After my training, I know there was a tabled motion that Gary made for me to be added, Pat Schultz's name be removed and my name added, and Kent seconded that, and I'd like that to be brought back to the table to be considered.
Well, if I understand it right, Mark, you cannot nominate yourself for something like this.
There was a motion brought that was tabled that Gary Clare made. If I went to the training,
if I remember right, it was not seconded.
It was tabled.
Yeah.
And Gary or Keith said if I went to the training.
No, I said I went to the training before I was to do that. I don't remember ever saying. I don't remember ever seconding that.
I don't remember.
It wasn't seconded. It was a comment was made so that you two would went to your training first before you were added to the card, and the motion was tabled until further notice.
So I'd like that motion be entertained to be brought back to the table.
Do we need a discussion on this? I'm gonna say something, and I may get in a lot of trouble. But Mark, you supported, when you took the oath, you said you would support the board members. That went out the door 2 minutes after you said it. And since then, I have never seen a board member on the whole time that we have been a water district do what you've done. You was not professionally put on the board. You went to several places and got information that you should never have done.
What would that be?
You went to the machinery dealer. You went to the insurance and other things that you should not have done because you was not legally on the board at that point. And you put us in a position and you put the people that give you the information.
I was at the board meeting and they said they were going to consider selling Gary said he was gonna consider selling it. On my way back, I called Bryce Dixon to see what it would be worth, because I didn't want us to take less. I called the Hopkins Insurance to see if we had a tractor, and she sent me a printout, and thank God I called them, because we didn't have insurance on an excavator that we've owned for over a year. And I text her on the May meeting and said, Cayenne, please reach out to the water board, someone, and see if they have any insurance they need to put on a piece of equipment. I'm very thankful as a board member I did that, because if somebody would have got hurt, we wouldn't have had insurance on it, or if it would have got stolen, we wouldn't have. So I'm sorry, Madam President, but I don't agree with any of them being wrong. I don't. And
You done it on your own, not the support of the board.
I don't think that's what the oath that we took says.
Oh, yes, it is.
I guess we could read it if I had it with me, and I might have it with me.
All I asked you was, do you promise to support the board?
And that was not the oath that you would take, Madam President.
That is the oath that we give.
That's the oath that any board member here has to. They don't get to have an opinion. They have to agree to that. So when this gets made, and 5 minutes before the meeting, and we don't get to read it, and the numbers are wrong, we're supposed to agree with that and not discuss it. When we got $3.7 million possible worth of fines because our operator is not locating, I should agree with that. I can't do that, because that man over there is right. This board is liable. You four, whether you want to think it or not, it won't be the operator that goes down with the ship. It will be the board. And we as a board need to be better stewards and do our job and fiduciary duty. We don't have a treasurer. I asked you all, and you don't know who the treasurer is. You two didn't know where the bank accounts were at my first board meeting. We have a fiduciary.
Do you wanna get into them? Is that what you're after?
No, sir. I want to know.
We wonder about that.
I want to know that the bill
Is that, or are you running for another office?
No, sir. I want to know that if this bill gets paid, that we see that it gets done, that the receipt is with it.
Well, who do you expect to do that?
We should be checking these to make sure that there was a receipt with this. If you don't mind, I will.
So like, I have a question.
There should be a receipt.
So are
with
you
it.
talking, so like for instance, the electric bill, for instance, that I paid. I have down there that it's been paid, right? If you want to see the bill, I have.
Yeah. It would be
the
nice
bill.
that we have them
So
here.
So
Yes.
you want me to include a copy of every single invoice or bill that I pay for a month in the middle of this table?
There's not that many.
This time.
or any of the three
And
meetings I've been to.
So, but I'm just saying, you want me to
Just
keep
here-
all that
just
stuff
here.
out of file?
Just here, when we could see that they were paid for.
What I don't understand, you're taking over like you're the boss.
No, Madam
Yes,
President.
you are.
Okay. So,
What I would like to understand is, well,
so Robert's rule, the person to run the meeting is you, Madam President. But when there's votes taken, our operator tells you what to do. We should not disrupt without raising our hand or to be a part of it for allowing you, Madam President, to run the meetings. Our operators should only speak when spoken to or ask a question. And that's in Robert's rule. That's what I learned at this training. And I thank you guys for sending me there.
should we go back and show what last month's meeting was like?
Sure.
Because it's gonna show that we had votes on the table and you interrupted.
So I have and I'll email these. I was asked to do this. So this will be my third board meeting, and I've asked for the bylaws. We cannot function without a set of bylaws, and I've never had the bylaws.
Bylaws aren't much anymore, Mark. Now they're all statutes.
So then I asked for the policy and procedure. So what is the policy for late payments? What is the policy if the farmer down the road here, his meter didn't get read for almost 3 years and had a $2,500 bill and he got taken off? What is the policy for the family that I listed their home and he's dying of cancer and they weren't there and they got their estimated bill and had to pay it? It should be, we have a policy to follow, and I don't know what that is, but I would like
If a
it.
customer has a situation
So
like the last one
what
you
I
just
would like to
mentioned,
do is, I have a Missouri Sunshine Law request for a company handbook for employees, the policy and procedure, and the current bylaws of the Knox County Water Department.
when did you do that?
I have it and I signed it today and I will be emailing it. The other one I was asked to include Todd Schuler, our state audit manager. And I have pursuant to Missouri Sunshine Law, Chapter 610, I respectfully request copies of the bank statements for the Knox County Public Water Supply, number 1, for the period of January 1st, 2023 through the present month. Specifically, I'm requesting all monthly bank statements for the water account, the sewer accounts, Bering, Herdland, and Newark. Please provide these records electronically and find them to both of the following recipients: Mark Unault, the Board of Directors, and Todd Schuler, State Audit Manager. In any portion of these requests is denied, please provide the specific legal basis for the denial as required by Missouri Sunshine Law. If there are any costs associated with fulfillment this request, please notify me before processing the request. This is something we should have in our files, bank statements. So that shouldn't be too difficult to do, but I will be emailing these after the meeting. And I'm sorry, Madam President, that you feel the way you do, but if I'm gonna be liable for fraud or as a board member, because the board is who will be responsible, I am gonna voice my opinion. But I tried to respect you, Madam President, today and raise my hand and follow Robert's rule, because I learned that at this meeting that you all sent me to. And I tried real hard to be respectful, raise my hand. I didn't interrupt the meeting and speak when I didn't do that, but others around did. And go back and watch today's meeting and see when the operator interrupts the meeting. There's many other things, but I will email these to request. And I thank you for your time. I'll leave this here.
I don't know what to say, guys. I guess there is a motion on the table.
I don't think there's a motion on the table.
Huh?
I don't think there is a motion on the table.
He requested for the motion to be brought back up again.
Okay, he requested to bring the motion back up again. I don't know what to say. I'm lost. I guess, basically, does anyone make a motion to add Mark to the accounts?
I think this is a topic that needs to be discussed as far as who is a signatory on the accounts and who needs to be a signatory on the accounts. My recollection customarily on most of the water districts, clerk is a signatory on the account, the manager is a signatory on the account, and then maybe one of the president of the board, or if there has been elected a treasurer, the treasurer. I'm not sure that all of the board members, unless you all feel differently, and if you do, then that's fine, you know. But I'm not sure that all of the board members need to be signed. Do you all regularly sign checks?
I don't.
I mean, do you care if
I don't really need my name on it, to be honest with you, because I don't
That's my
sign checks.
point, is there do need to be people, the clerk and the manager, and then, one of the board members. And you need that.
Just to make sure you understood, they all five were on there, and it was just to remove Pat from the signature card because she's
And
no longer there.
that was my point, is I don't think that's necessary. And I'm not sure it should be the policy of the board, just as your attorney, I don't see any reason for all of the board members.
Need a couple though. The only, I've signed checks twice is because we were short on people.
I think you're handy, and maybe you're a good board member to have on there, in case you need a signature. We need enough people to make sure we can get all the checks signed and everything. And that's just my opinion, and you all may probably disagree, and you can just say, no, Dave, that's not the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna keep doing it the way we've always done it.
Well,
So,
there's always only been 2 sign the checks in the past. And
well, you've gotta come in and sign a check when it needs to be signed.
right. And so
That's,
my suggestion is leave the 2 that is on there, and
well, it sounds like all 5, or all 5 were before Pat
Are
went
you
off the
saying that
board.
just the 2 that's always signing the check?
Huh?
Are you saying just the 2 that's always signing the checks?
And that's up for discussion. I mean, do you want one other signature, one other authorized signature in case, you know, of an emergency and you need a check signed?
Well, mine has been, if, you know, Gary signs when he's here. If I need to come in, I'll come in. Mike, we have to sign issues on the check, but I don't think we need any more than what we've got.
I think we need a minimum of 2 signatures on a check. That keeps the honesty.
Yeah, that's
right.
Absolutely right.
I agree with that.
And I think that's the way it is. Don't you have to have 2 signatures on the check?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's it, that connection's in place.
It's just good business.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just a matter of who those people are gonna be. Now, you can just let it go and by attrition, you know, eventually, you know, the board will turn over and then you'll be appointing other, you know.
Right.
So, but I'm just.
Mike, what are you?
I let 2 signatures, 2 people is enough as far as that goes. It doesn't matter to me, but, I mean, 2, no more than 3 probably. I mean, you're always sometimes not gonna be short, remember, sometimes.
Right.
I think you ought to have a backup. It requires 2 signatures, you know, and if that's you and Gary at this point.
Well,
I
it's
think
me and Mike, I guess. And
Gary signs checks.
yeah, Gary signs check. So, do I have a motion that we leave it the way we've got it? And have just 2 signatures on the check? Or on the,
signer card?
no?
On the signer card?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what we've discussed here, is having a backup signer and 2. So that would, in my opinion, it would be Gary as a backup, and Mike and Shirley, the president. I don't need my name on there. I hardly ever sign a check, maybe once in 5 years. I don't need my name on there.
I don't feel like I do either.
Yeah. So,
Not that I'm handy, here's the way, but I just should not be on it. I mean, I've always kinda done it because I'm always early.
that's a good reference to go by.
But
So, you make that a motion, or?
I made the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
I,
Mike?
No. Shirley, just as a, you know, he was talking about the Robert's rules, the procedure. You could be a little bit more, you know, when you're taking a vote of,
Right.
you know, all those in favor, aye, you know, and when you vote in favor, aye, raise your hand and say aye, and when you vote no, raise your hand and say no, you know, so.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Just so Angel, you know, it's easier for her to keep the minutes, and she, you know, it's easier for her to keep track of who voted for and against.
Yeah.
So, just the point.
No, I agree with you. The thing of it is that we've handled this one way for so many years, and
Totally understand.
yeah, and
Okay.
but this issue of you emailing and wanting all the information on our accounts, I do not agree with that.
Should be public record anyway, isn't it?
I was gonna say,
Most
any
boards,
one of them can ask for it.
most boards provide, like, I know we don't provide copies for everybody on the board, but our clerk does provide the bills in a folder and the bank statements in a folder at every meeting. They're on the table for any of the board members to look at. That's what we do. Y'all can do whatever, but if it's a public board meeting or it's a public board, all the financials are public record. I mean, I can fill out a FOIA request and ask for your bank statements.
Well, most of it is in the little package you got.
Well, I mean, they get a itemized. Julie does it for us. I mean, she gives us a list of the bills paid and all that, and we vote to do it or not. But we also have the availability to actually look at the bill and look at the bank statement if we want to, not just trust what the spreadsheet says.
Okay.
And I think that's what Mark's saying is he would like to look at the actual bank statement versus the checks because they're different.
Right.
Because not every check's cleared the bank. We know that, right?
Right.
So if you're saying the bank should have 32,000 in it on your spreadsheet, but the bank statement says it's got 35,000, well, which bills haven't gone through yet? But it's not. I mean, that's just as somebody that votes on one of you board members. I would expect whoever I voted for as a board member to look at my interest in it because I have an interest in it.
It's not only that, we paid $40,721 for water this month in May. I have no idea how much we collected. What is our leakage? How much did we sell more water than we paid for? Did we not? I have no. This is my third meeting. I have no idea how much our bank statement is. What our total bank statement is. We gave a raise happened today that I have no idea if we have money to be doing that. We don't see any of that on here. None of it.
But some of that'll catch up a little bit more. Daisy was behind when she left and John did the audit. There's a whole bunch of papers that spit out of this computer in there that's not making them in that package yet because they don't have where Daisy left.
It's not up to date.
Up to date.
Is what he's saying. However,
So-
I will say this. I will provide this board with anything it wants. You just need to tell me exactly what you want so I can get it together for you. And so if you could make me a list of what you want, I will make sure I have it ready for the board meeting.
Is there a way I can leave, before I leave here today, just the bylaws? I know that has to be in this building. Daisy said it's in this building.
It is, I gotta find it.
But the bylaws, if you
But
look
they're
at
so
it,
outdated.
they're so outdated, you wouldn't even be on the board yet.
Why have they not been updated?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know, because now they go off of Missouri statutes.
I would like a copy of whatever bylaws we have today, if that's okay. If that's,
I'll try and find them. I mean, we're almost at 4 o'clock, which is when I get off work. So, I mean,
Not
it's
today.
3:46. So once this board meeting's over, I'm going home because I have a kid waiting for me. So, but I will, if that's what you want, I will start
it's
working on
not what I want, it's my duty as a board member. If somebody, I had someone complain to me that if they should get a leak adjustment, but if our policy is we don't get a leak adjustment,
We give
then we should have that.
We give leak adjustment.
I don't know that, I don't have a policy for that. We don't know what our policy, is it on our policy and procedures to give it?
I'm not really sure. I can't tell you right off
Who
the top of
has,
my head.
who's saying we can get a leak adjustment?
It's usually brought up to the board, like especially if it's a really big leak. So say we're talking thousands of dollars worth.
But that's not happened since I've been on the board.
Because nobody's brought it to us and requested for it.
Okay.
So unless a customer calls and says, "Hey, I had this really big leak. My bill is thousands of dollars.
I would like
like
the
a leak
bylaw-
adjustment."
I
The
would
first
like the
thing I
bylaws
tell
if I
them
could.
is that I have to talk to Gary, and that Gary has to get permission from the board. That's the first thing I tell them. And if a customer has a problem, like you mentioned earlier, a customer hasn't been home and you're selling their house or whatever, and they had an estimate on their bill, and they had to pay it. Well, if they had called me or the office and brought this issue up, we would have either asked them to give us a manual reading off of their meter or sent somebody out as soon as we could to get a manual reading to compare it to the computer to see if, you know, what the difference is, and then make the proper adjustments there. So we have procedures in place, but whether they're written down or not, I'm not honestly sure. But I can find the bylaws.
I would appreciate it.
Anybody else want a copy of the bylaws while she's getting them?
The other thing that you probably ought to have, just to throw this out there, is the user's agreement. The user's agreement kind of establishes the contract between the water district and the purchaser. That's probably one of the most important documents that exists, is the user agreement.
And we've got that.
Oh yeah, if they sign it anytime.
No, I know,
somebody-
I'm just saying, but he should have a copy of
Yeah.
that, because
Understand
that's
that.
probably the
Okay.
first and foremost document that sets the contract between the water district and the user. So if he's looking for documents, that would be a good one.
And
Look at
everybody,
this Kirksville deal.
I'm sorry, what's that?
You wanna go out, you said you had Kirksville deal with you?
No, not Kirksville, the plans for it's your water system improvements. I can go grab them if you want.
I'll go out and we can look at it now. No, it's gonna be $6.
But yeah, I will find the bylaws for you, Mark,
Thank you.
and get that together.
And do we have policies and procedures?
I will try to find those. I honestly can't say where a copy would be, but I will try to find those. I'm sure we have them somewhere.
I wouldn't be quite so sure that they are written down, but.
Well, they may not be. So I'll look and see what I can find, and what I can find, I will get copies.
How do we treat all our people equally if we don't have that?
Well, I mean, we have I'm sure we've got a policy that if, you know, a water bill goes unpaid, you know, and it's been 15 days, we go out and we, you know, jerk the meter, you know, I mean, and there's gonna be a, you know.
Yeah, the due date's the 14th, the shut-off date's the 25th, you
Yeah,
know?
you know, we've got those kind of procedures and.
we have a water use
Well, that's-
agreement that everybody has to sign
Yeah. Oh.
when they get a meter.
I have been a water user in the county 6 years now. I don't have a user agreement. I didn't sign a user
You
agreement.
signed it when you
signed it when you signed up. Everybody
I
does.
called. I said, I need water. I never signed anything. I do not have a user agreement.
Make a
Well,
note-
then before you leave, you need to sign one.
Yeah, make a note.
And that's from
And that was
where
probably-
somebody else not ain't, you know.
And that was probably an oversight, you know, back then, or something, or I don't know. But, and I know sometimes I
Make a
get
note,
calls of
nobody
people.
gets water until they sign a water.
Right,
user agreement.
right. And I have
That
instances
should be
where
part
I
of the
get,
policy.
I get
It is
people
now.
that call me and say that
The
they're
board didn't
buying
vote
a
on that.
house or,
They're-
you know,
Right.
something,
She's
and,
the
but they're
clerk.
from out of town. I email them the water user agreement, they email it back to me. Now, we also have the policy that the water cannot be turned on or turned into their name until the $100 fee is paid. So, in order for the account to change names or, you know, whatever, we need the water user agreement signed and the fees paid, whether it's just the processing fee or the fee and the deposit. Either way, all those need to be in place and done before anything is changed on any account.
But it's not in writing.
Well, no.
If it's not
now,
written down, it didn't happen. Basic documentation rules, legally, if it's not written down, it did not happen. So why do we not have policies and procedures in writing?
well, I don't think they're
Whether
saying
they're
not.
outdated
I
or
think
not,
they're saying they don't
I
know
don't have
where
a
they're at.
user agreement.
Pretty much.
You say
I mean,
you give
that's-
an allowance on water overages or whatever.
Okay,
I had
now, we just finished talking about.
no. The point is,
The
I
point
did
is,
have a
the
water
point is,
leak.
you're out of order.
I'm saying you were saying you have stuff in
Shirley, would you
place,
please
but you
continue on
don't.
with the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, now, we just finished the new board member training.
Right,
You're
and
on-
we
you're-
need to go on
you're
with
on
the
other
old
business.
business. Gary's not in here.
Right there.
Oh, I don't know if we've got any old business that we need to discuss. Gary is not in here to.
Does anybody present have any old business?
Oh, well, does anybody have any old business? Okay, in that case, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn. I will second it.
Each one of you vote. Gary? All of you? Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Be safe going home.